Hey guys, what's up? It's Debbie. Welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry I was a few minutes late. I had to take Spike outside. We are back with the afternoon. Guys. Oh, sorry. What's up? It's Debbie. Welcome back to my channel. Hey Wiggles. Hey Judy. I realize it's Friday afternoon and it's Halloween, so I guess we're not going to have many people, but we are going to keep on with the hidden body murder trial. I was right. It is day 5. Law and crime was the stupid one. So then I had to go back and fix it. Hey, Aurora. Because I was right. They were wrong. So it is day 5. So this is the afternoon of day 5 of the hidden body murder trial. And it started 15 minutes ago, but I started a little bit late. Oh, thank you, Marty. So let's go ahead so we're 15 minutes behind, so we can skip breaks and stuff. So let's get going. I'm so tired of YouTube, StreamYard, YouTube, and collusion. They keep changing stuff that doesn't need to be changed. Stop it. Thank you. Now work.
All right, have a seat, everybody. All 14 jurors have returned. Thank you very much. I hope and trust your lunch went well. Your next witness, please.
Thank you, Judge. The state calls Melissa Groff.
Ma'am, come on up to the witness stand to my right. Remain standing and raise your right hand once you get there.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give in this matter before the court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, come on up and have a seat, ma'am, please. Could you please tell us your name?
Melissa M. Groff.
Groff spelled how?
Graf as in Frank.
Okay, thank you. All right, go ahead.
How are you employed?
I work for the State of Wisconsin Crime Laboratory in Milwaukee.
And in what capacity?
I work in the identification section, so that deals with friction ridge detail and footwear evidence.
How long have you worked for the crime lab?
I am now in my 28th year.
And I'm just going to put up an item for you, Exhibit 135 for the witness only, please. Do you see 135 on the monitor in front of you?
I do.
Do you recognize that item?
I do.
What is it, please?
It is Wisconsin State Crime Laboratory, my statement of qualifications.
Is this a document you prepared?
Yes, it is.
And it's a total of 4 pages?
Yes.
And do you believe this is an accurate representation of all the training and education that you have undertaken during the course of your employment at the crime lab?
Yes, it is.
Have you always worked in the identification area?
Yes.
And what's your education, formal education and training for that position, please?
I have a bachelor's degree from Marquette University. I successfully completed a 3-year apprenticeship type program with a senior examiner at a private crime laboratory in Illinois. I have received over 200 hours of comparison classes and over 100 hours of processing classes. I am also certified by the International Association for Identification.
And is the Wisconsin State Crime Laboratory certified or can't think of the word when it comes to the work in the identification field?
Yes, they are
accredited.
accredited.
Thank you.
Yes.
After lunch, my brain's slow. You mentioned friction ridge detail. In easy to understand terms, tell the jury what that means.
Friction ridge detail refers to the skin that you have on your hands and then the bottom of your feet too. And it's a different kind of skin than any other skin you have on the rest of your body. And it's different because it has raised ridges. And these raised ridges do not flow smoothly always from one side to the other. They can flow along and then suddenly split into two or stop abruptly. And where that happens, we call those minutia points. And then on top of these ridges, they're also different because they have sweat pores. And so like a rubber stamp, when we touch an object, there's a chance that we're going to leave behind a copy of that friction-rich skin. And it, like I said, it's on your fingers, on your palms, and the bottoms of your feet.
Have you been asked in the past to examine, I'll say specifically with a paper document, examine a paper document for friction ridge detail?
Yes, I have.
Is it possible to do that on a
Yes,
piece of
it
paper?
is.
Sorry. About how many times have you done that before?
I average about 200 cases a year, so within about 1,400 cases, and there's multiple items per case, I would say at least 1,000 pieces of paper in my career.
Okay. And ultimately, would you issue a report after you've done your work in a specific case?
Yes, I do.
And do you, have you ever been asked to testify in a courtroom before
I have.
about your work?
Yes.
About how many times?
Believe about 28.
Okay. Okay to proceed with this witness, Mr. Wolf?
Absolutely.
All right, thank you. I would move for admission of 135, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection.
135 is admitted. Thank you. Go ahead.
All right, I'm going to put up 136 for the witness only, please, and ask you to identify 136.
That is a copy of my confidential report of laboratory findings.
And specific to the case involving a Stephanie Pavlons, is that correct?
That is correct.
And this is work that you did at the request of the Waukesha County Sheriff's Department.
Correct.
And in addition to this report, did you also provide to me a PowerPoint or a PDF format of some slides to assist the jury in understanding your testimony? 36, if you could please just go through the 4 pages for the witness. And it looks like pages 1 and 2 are duplicated.
It's missing page 3 and 4.
Okay, I see that. Pages 3 and 4 would be template type material, for lack of a better word?
I believe I forget what it's titled off the top of my head, but it's a appendix of what some of our abbreviations and further descriptions of what is in the report.
Okay.
Like a vocabulary.
Explaining terms and things like that?
Yes.
6, it's 4 pages, but pages 1 and 2 are identical to pages 3 and 4 of the exhibit, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. Move to admit 136, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection.
136 admitted.
All right, and then would you please display for the witness only 137? Do you recognize 137?
Yes, I do.
And this is the slides or PowerPoint that you assembled for assistance during your testimony specific to this case, correct?
That's correct.
And again, do you believe this is a true and accurate representation of your work?
Yes.
Move to admit 137 and permission to publish, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection.
137 is admitted.
All right, if we could please put up 137. Is this the item that you were asked to examine in this case?
Yes, it is. That's a copy of the front of the item.
And this is photographed at the lab before you did any work on it?
This is actually photographed after I have already exposed it to indane zinc chloride. It's an overall picture that our photo people take so that it's a reference shot.
Okay.
So this is the picture that she took prior to. Indane zinc chloride is something you can only visualize with a laser. So this is without the laser.
Okay.
1 second, please. Tell us the name of that substance again, please.
Indane zinc chloride.
Zinc chloride, I know Deidre's got that, but the first word, if you could spell that for us.
Oh boy.
Stumped her. We had a German word yesterday.
Oh, actually, it's in my PowerPoint.
Okay.
I believe it's IND.
Where is it in the PowerPoint? Let's go there.
Go to slide right there. INDANEDIONE.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Sorry to interrupt, Ms. Opera.
Thank you, Judge. So page 1, slide 1 is simply an overview photograph, you're telling
Correct.
us. Okay. Next slide, please. Slide 2.
That's the back side of the letter.
Okay. Slide 3.
And then this is what it looks like when you expose the piece of paper to a laser. It actually makes the chemical fluoresce. So that's the front side.
So you applied this chemical to the notes, to
Correct.
item L.
Correct.
Okay. And then asked somebody else in your lab to photograph it.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
And then the next slide is the back side
Okay.
process.
Why did you apply this chemical to the note?
It's our policy and procedure that as I told you about how when you touch an object, there's a chance that you leave a copy of that friction detail behind. We typically call it latent because that means hidden or unseen. When you're exuding the perspiration that comes out of those little sweat pores, you can also pick up oils and greases from your environment, and so they aren't visible with the naked eye. And so you have to do some type of chemical procedure, especially with paper, because fingerprints are made up of 98% water. And so that water absorbs into the paper. And so we can't see friction detail on paper unless it's in a substance such as blood or paint or something that's on the friction ridge detail that gets transferred to the paper. So we need to do a chemical to it that goes into the paper fibers, reacts with that residue that's left behind to make it visible.
Thank you. Are you able to explain to us, from my vision or my view of this, I see kind of a lighter colored streak across about the middle of the page. Do you see that?
I do.
And then in the bottom right-hand corner of this slide, number 4, I see another real light white or lighter colored area. Do you see that as well?
I do.
Can you explain those brighter areas? What is that significant of?
It's just that the chemicals react with the paper in a different way. I did note in my notes that this piece of paper was highly crumpled. So if there is any other substance that the chemicals end up reacting to, sometimes you get a lot of background fluorescence due to the whiteners and brighteners in paper.
Okay.
It could be a foreign substance on there that I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, you didn't identify that.
No.
Okay, but if the paper had been crumpled, then you straightened it out for these photographs, I assume?
Correct.
And
It didn't come crumpled when I opened it. It was in an envelope, so it was open, but I could tell that the paper was not pristine.
Because you could see creases?
Correct.
And wrinkles?
Yes.
Okay. And that may show up as these lighter shaded areas?
They can, yes.
Okay, thank you. Slide 5, please.
So then after indane, we follow up with another chemical called ninhydrin.
Spell,
and
please.
that actually turns the residue from your fingerprints purple. So you don't need a laser to see it. You can see it with the naked eye. And so this is just an overview of the ninhydrin processing front of the page.
And ninhydrin is Ninhydrin?
That's correct.
Okay. Are these photographs in the order of the process you went through?
They are.
All right. Could you go back up to, I can't tell what we're on 5, but I'll keep going, please. Keep going, stop. Okay, slide 1. I see in the bottom right-hand corner of item L itself, the note itself, it appears to be some type of scale or ruler. You see that on
Yes.
item L?
Mm-hmm.
Tell us what that is, please.
Per our policy, we have to have all of our photographs done one-to-one. When we go to enter them into our automated friction-rich detail system, they need to be resized one-to-one. So our policy is whenever we have friction-rich detail that we think is possibly suitable, we have to put a scale on the item for the photographers so that they can make it one-to-one for us. So that's I call it, it's a disposable scale. They come in a roll, and it's got little stickiness on the back, and we stick it on the item, and then we can remove it after each process so that the next process can get developed, and so that the scale doesn't obliterate anything that might be underneath it.
I see. And so is it kind of similar to like a sticky note as far as the level of adhesion?
It's very similar to a Post-it note, yes.
Okay. And pretty easy to take off or remove?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I think had just talked about slide 5. So slide 6 is...
So slide 6 is the ninhydrin on the back side. And if you look real close, you can see just to the outside of that scale what the backing looks like. It's just like a wax paper type backing.
I see.
So that one I didn't pull off and stick on the paper. I just included it for the photographer to put in the picture, but it's just not on the piece of paper.
Okay. Slide 7.
So this is going back to when I would do my analysis of the indane photos. And you'll see that there's a blue arc in the middle with an LFRD1. The L stands for the item, FRD stands for friction rich detail 1. By policy, we have to give a numerical number to each one of our friction rich detail areas that we find suitable.
It's a little hard to see, so can you circle that? It's a touch screen in front of you. Can you circle the blue arc you're referring to, please?
Yeah. You'll see it closer in the next.
Okay. May we preserve that as 137A, Your Honor?
Any problem with that?
No objection, Your
Okay,
Honor.
go ahead.
Thank you. All right. We're ready? Okay. Next slide, please. 8.
So I have just taken the photo and rotated it so that the L is upright. That's all that's happened in this slide.
Okay. And zoomed in more?
A little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Slide 9.
So it's done in Photoshop. We upload our images, and what you'll see here is green little dots. And those green little dots are like how I explained earlier, how when you have friction-rich detail and you have ridges that go smoothly and they don't stop, or sometimes they stop and sometimes they split, they don't go smooth. What you see at each of those green little circles is one of those minutia points. And so we put a green dot where we find a minutia point. And green signifies that I'm pretty confident that that is actually a minutia point. I don't believe I have any yellows. If I had a yellow on there, it would be, well, I might see something there, but I'm not sure. But all of these are green, so I felt very confident in what I was observing. The orange in the middle is an indication to me that something is going on there in the middle. It doesn't flow as smoothly and is not as clear as the friction-rich detail to the right and to the left. There may have been a crease in the piece of paper there. I'm not exactly sure, but it's an indication to me that something is a little bit more difficult and harder to interpret in that circled area.
Okay. Next slide, please.
These are the fingerprint cards that I obtained to do comparisons with.
And do you know who these cards belong to?
The
We
top,
zoomed in, you could tell us?
the top three are Matthew, Edward, Paul, and
Okay.
the bottom two are Stephanie
Pavlons?
Jean Pavlons.
Okay.
So I obtained 5 cards total.
And those were provided to you by the police officers?
No, I had to get those out of our automated fingerprint identification system. No fingerprint cards were submitted with this case.
I see, okay. Next slide, please.
So then this is just an overview of the fingerprint card that I had used in one of the comparisons
And this would be for Matthew
for
Edward
Matthew
Pahl.
Pahl.
Okay. Next slide.
And so then on my left is the questioned impression with my green dots. And I have on the right side, the right thumb of Matthew Pahl. When we do comparisons, what I do is pull up the unknown on one side of my screen and then the known on the other. And what I'm looking for is the same ridge flow to start with. And then I start looking for those green points. And I'm looking for the unit relationship between each other. So if you look at the orange area and you go to the left, you'll see 3 green dots. And there might be 1 or 2 ridges in between them, and one is maybe a little bit higher and a little bit lower. And that's what I call the unit relationship to each other. And then I have to go to the known card and try to find those same points and same unit relationship to each other.
Were you able to do that in this case?
Yes, if you go to the next slide.
Okay. For the record, that was slide 12. This is slide 13.
So what you see here is my final comparison. What I do is I mark in blue. So the blue dots correspond to the green dots. That means that I saw them in the same unit relationship, and that's where I have accounted for them in the known card. The purple dots are dots that I did not originally call green, but I have viewed them and observed them after I looked at the known, and in my opinion, they do correspond to what you see in the question. And so they're marked in a different color just to show that I didn't see them in my original analysis, but I did see them during the comparison.
And then
And I believe that's it.
that's it. So what is your ultimate conclusion in this case, Ms. Graff?
So the latent fingerprint that I developed on item L was identified to the right thumb of Matthew Pahl.
Okay. I'm going to show you this item that has been admitted as Exhibit 53. Do you recognize 53?
I do.
Is that item L?
Yes, it is.
And is that how it came to you at the crime lab, in that envelope on the right side of the packet?
In this envelope, yes, not in the plastic.
Okay. And there's a sticker on there showing that it came to your crime lab, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Here's the question for you, Ms. Graff, if you can explain. We've had some testimony here today that it appears the bottom of item L has been ripped or altered in some fashion. It's not perfectly rectangular any longer. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
Do you have any explanation for that? And if you can look in the envelope if you need
Well,
to.
no, and in looking at it now, it looks more cut
Okay.
than torn, and there's also a tag in here of Stephanie's. She would have been the DNA analyst.
I see.
I'm wondering, and I'm not 100% sure, that she may have looked at this item after I did,
Okay.
and that may have been something that she had done.
Can you look in the big brown envelope?
In the envelope?
Yeah, I think it's been cut.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's my initials on the bottom of the, if I would have done this during the last process that I do as physical developer, that's followed up after the ninhydrin. And sometimes physical developer weakens the bonds of the paper and it actually disintegrates. This is not a disintegrate, this is a cut.
Okay.
I would not have cut the item. And my initials are actually at the bottom of this piece,
Okay,
which is how, per policy, I am supposed to initial and date and put the item number on each piece of evidence when I'm completed with it.
okay. And you're telling us you can't say with certainty, but it's possible another analyst at the lab may have cut it for her processing.
It's possible.
Okay. But we do have the whole note there.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Those are all my questions.
Cross-examination.
Thank you. Ms. Groff, you said your lab is accredited. Who accredits your laboratory?
It's the Crime Lab, American Crime Lab Society, and ISO.
Okay. Are you familiar with the National Institute of Standards and Technology?
Somewhat, yes.
Okay, but you're not a member of that organization at all?
I am not personally,
Okay.
no.
Mr. Pahl's, you identified Mr. Pahl's thumbprint on the note, correct?
That's correct.
And that would be consistent with somebody picking up that note, correct?
It's consistent with somebody touching the paper. That's all I can say.
So you can't say at all how it was particularly handled? At all?
No.
And you also said that various factors impact on whether or not a fingerprint is left on an item, correct?
That's correct.
So you can't rule out that anybody else handled that?
No, I cannot.
Okay, nothing further on it.
All right, any redirect?
Nothing on that, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. You are excused.
Thank you. Do you
All
want
right,
me to
and
leave this?
You know what, Ms. Opper will take care of that, okay?
Okay, thank you.
We have a different witness to present, Your Honor,
Okay.
than what had been discussed earlier.
All right, that's fine.
Oh, let me assemble this first.
Do you want a glove?
And is that person on their way in?
Yes, Detective Stilling is in the courtroom.
All right, sir, why don't you come up to the witness stand to my right, remain standing and raise your right hand once you get up there, please.
Please swear the testimony you're about to give in this matter before the court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
All right, have a seat, sir. And tell us your full name.
Jeremy Stilling,
All right, spell your first name for us.
Jeremy.
All right, go ahead.
How were you employed, sir?
With the Waukesha County Sheriff's Department.
And how long have you worked for the sheriff?
Since January of 2015, 10 and a half years.
Okay. And what's your current role?
I work as a detective in the Detective Bureau.
Directing your attention to the date of September 18, 2023. Were you working in the Detective Bureau at that time, sir?
Yes, I was.
And were you asked to assist in executing a search warrant at the apartment of Matthew Pahl located at 1001 Delafield Street in the city of Waukesha?
Yes, I was.
And you were one of several officers present for that search warrant, correct?
Yes.
Were you tasked with searching a particular area of the apartment?
Yes.
What area was that, sir?
There was a bookshelf, it's a smaller apartment, bookshelf against the wall, and then there was a closet just next to the bookshelf, which ran adjacent with the kitchen countertop, I believe it was.
Okay. I'm going to put up a photograph by way of previous agreement. I'll just ask to publish, please, number 172. Do you recognize Exhibit 172, sir?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and is this the area you were just describing for us?
Yes, it is.
Where's the bookshelf?
On the right side,
Okay.
the black shelving.
And the
On the
closet?
bookshelf right
To
there.
the left of that with the brown sliding doors and a gold handle.
Okay. And the door's actually open in this
There's
photograph?
the clock.
Yes.
Okay. In searching that closet, did you
Apartment.
locate any items of interest relative to this?
A piece of paper that was located on the top shelf. It was in some form of a box. I believe in my report I described it as an envelope box. And on said piece of paper, it had something to the extent of non-extraditable countries or countries with no extradition.
Okay. If we could please display 173? What is 173, please?
It is the note that I was speaking of.
Okay. It's a little hard to read. I'm going to ask Ms. Gussie to zoom in a little bit.
Colombia,
Okay. And we're
Cambodia,
looking at this white piece of
Laos,
paper, sir?
Russia,
Yes.
Serbia,
And at the top on the
Vietnam,
right-hand side of the
Taiwan,
paper, what do you see there?
I see a number 1
Myanmar.
circled with no extradition written right next to it.
Okay, and then below that?
Below that, I see a 2 with an X, 100K at, and then additional countries, multiples
Portugal,
circled.
Peru, Philippines.
Does that actually say look at instead of 100K?
Yes, it does, sorry.
Okay,
Apologize.
so the X means look at. And then there's a list of words there, correct?
Yes,
You recognize those words?
Yes, I do.
They're countries.
What do you recognize them to be?
countries with no extradition.
Countries all around the world?
Correct.
Okay. And if the key of this note is to be believed, the ones that are circled don't extradite and the ones with an X need to be looked at.
Correct.
Okay. You found this in the belongings of Matthew Pahl on September 18, 2023.
Yes, in that closet.
Okay. Thank you. I don't have any other questions.
Cross-examination?
Right. I got the witness, Judge.
Go ahead.
Detective, you were searching the whole residence, is that true?
My primary focus was that area that was depicted in the picture, sir.
That closet only?
Closet and the bookshelf.
And that note was with other items?
It was with additional pieces of paper, yes.
And what were on those other pieces of paper?
I could not recall.
Do you know who wrote that note?
I do not.
Do you know when that note was written?
I do not.
The note seems like it's, do you have the note here with you?
I do not have the note, sir.
Do you know how long the note had been in that box?
I do not.
If that note was written 10 years ago, you would not disagree with me, would you?
I wouldn't know if it was written 10 years ago or the day of.
I have no further questions, Judge.
Redirect?
No, sir.
All right, thank you very much, sir. You're excused. Next witness.
Thank you. This state will call Jesse Chilson.
Come on up, please, to the witness stand to my right. And once you get up here, remain standing and raise your right hand. Face up, quick over here.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give in this matter before the court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, have a seat, please. And could you please tell us your name?
Jessica Chilson,
Spell the last name.
Chilson.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hi,
How are you employed?
I'm a manager at Willow Park Apartments.
And how long have you worked down there?
About 5 years.
Okay. Do you know Matthew Pahl?
Yes, he was a resident at our residency.
Do you remember when he came to live at the Willow Park Apartments?
I'm not 100%, but I do believe it's like 2022.
Okay. If I show you a copy of his lease, would that help you know for sure?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to ask to display for the witness only Exhibit 167.
Sound like she said 3022, didn't it?
It'll come
I'm
up on the
pretty sure
screen
she
to your
said
right there, ma'am.
2022. Though.
He was November 1st of 2021.
67, is that a copy of his lease?
Yes, that's the original lease.
Okay. And do you believe this is a true copy of the lease? In other words, nobody's altered it or changed it before court?
No, nobody's altered it.
Okay. Oops. So November 1 of 2021, Mr. Pahl signed a lease with the Willow Park Apartments, correct?
Correct.
Was he allowed to have any roommates?
He can have guests, but nobody living with him.
Was that a rule of his rental agreement?
Yes.
Was it, if you had learned that he had somebody living with him, would that have been a violation of the rules?
Yes.
What would have been the consequence?
He would get a verbal warning, and then we would end up giving him 5-day notices. And we give him up to 3 5-day notices that he cannot do that.
Okay.
And then we end up evicting for
This
not obeying the rules.
Okay, this is a secure building, right?
Correct.
And about how many units are in the building?
About 120.
Okay, and there's many doors that lead into and out of the building?
Yeah, but they're all locked. You have to have a key access to get into them.
Okay, and would it be possible for Mr. Pahl to sort of prop a door open and let somebody in?
Yes.
Okay. Are there cameras at the Willow Park Apartments?
They weren't at the time.
2022?
No, they were not cameras at the time.
Okay. You remember giving police officers access to your video recording
Yes.
system
Yes.
in August of 2022?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, we did have cameras. We just got new camera system.
I see. Okay.
So sorry.
That's okay. So since all this happened, you've replaced it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But back then, in 2022, you did have several visits from the sheriff's office, right?
Yes. The
And
SWAT
they-
team was there.
Sure. But they also came and asked for your video, right?
Correct. Yeah, they took it a couple of times.
And you helped them retrieve it from your system?
Yes.
Okay. And the video cameras show all the doors and people that are coming and going?
Yes.
Okay. If Mr. Pahl rented the apartment solo as a single occupant of the apartment, would he have gotten one key to the apartment?
Yes.
Okay. For the witness only, I move to admit 167, Your Honor, but I'm not asking to display it.
Any objection?
No, sir.
Okay, 167 is admitted.
And then for the witness only at this point, 168, please. Do you see what's shown on your screen there, ma'am?
Yes.
Have you ever seen this document before?
Yes.
What is this?
That is something that Mr. Pahl gave me to make that if anything ever happens to him or he needs to have somebody access, we can let them in his unit.
Okay.
Without him saying, or without him saying that it's okay to enter.
So if suddenly he's not there sometime, he's giving a permission to somebody else to get into his apartment?
Yes.
Okay. Do you believe this is a true representation of that letter you got from Mr. Pahl?
Yes.
Move to admit 168, permission to publish, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No, sir.
168 is admitted, you may publish.
All right, it's a little hard to read. Are you able to read that, Ms. Chilson? Would you rather I read it?
I, Matthew Pahl, give Kathy Pahl and Marcus Pahl and their choosing of moving company premises to move all my belongings, property off my property room. 317, apartment 317 at any time upon my request.
Okay, and then it's signed, thank you?
Thank you, 9/20/2022. And I signed it, and so did Mr. Pahl.
Okay. You remember him bringing that letter to you?
Yes.
Did you ask him for that letter?
No.
He just presented it to you and
Yes.
asked you to put it in his file?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Cross-examination.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hi.
So Mr. Pahl was on the lease, true?
Yes.
And he was allowed to have a guest at his apartment, true?
Yes.
How long is the guest allowed to stay?
About 2 days. And if the guest is somebody that's from out of town, then they would say about a week to 2 weeks. And if it has to be longer, they have to contact the office.
So out of town would be out of the city of vacation?
No, out of a long periods of time as far as on a vacation.
How does the tenant know that that's what out of town means?
We explained it to them at the time of the leasing.
So the guest is allowed to come over and stay. Are they allowed to bring clothes as far as a change of clothing?
Yes,
Now, as far as you know, were there any complaints from any other tenants that lived in the building against Mr. Pahl?
no,
No one complained about loud noises?
no,
No one complained about yelling occurring inside the apartment?
no.
In regards to that exhibit you were shown, that letter that Mr. Pahl gave you dated September 20th, 2022, you received that again from Mr. Pahl, true?
Yes,
And had he traveled to the Philippines and, God forsaken, died in the Philippines, would his parents been allowed to?
yes.
I have no further questions.
Any redirect?
Nothing further, thank you.
All right, thank you very much, ma'am. You're
Thank you.
Would his parents been allowed to what? What did he ask her?
State calls Kyle Holbeck.
Sir, if you come up to the witness stand to my right, and once you get up here, remain standing and raise your right hand. And if you could face our clerk over here.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give in this matter before the
Oh.
court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, have a seat, sir. Can you tell us your name, please?
Kyle Hobeck.
Spell both the first and last.
Kyle, K-Y-L-E, Hobeck, H-O-B-E-C-K.
Okay, thank you very much. Go ahead.
Hi, Mr. Holbeck.
Hello.
All right, I'm just going to ask that you talk slowly, okay, so the court reporter can take everything that you say down. At some point in the summer of 2022, do you recall coming across a Facebook marketplace sale for a power washer?
Yes.
Okay. Do you buy a lot of things
Yes.
on Facebook Marketplace?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You just have to wait until I finish
Okay,
the
fine.
question, okay? It sounds like you're a little nervous. So why were you trying to buy a power washer?
To fix, to resell.
All right. Is that kind of a business you have?
Yes.
So who did you contact on Facebook about buying a power washer?
Profile by the name of Stephanie.
All right. And did you know this person?
No.
Ever meet her in person before?
No.
So you just see the post and you send her a message?
Correct.
That's pretty much how Facebook Marketplace works, right?
Yes.
You see something you're interested in, you might send a message to the seller, see if it's still available.
Yes.
Okay. So that happens on July 19th of 2022. That sound about right?
Okay. Yes.
And then throughout July, do you and Stephanie kind of go back and forth about whether you're going to meet up for the power washer and begin to have kind of a conversation?
Correct. Yes.
Now, at some point, I want to say on August 9th of 2022, you still hadn't met up with Stephanie, right?
Correct.
You had engaged in some conversation over Facebook Messenger, I should say.
Yes.
And on August 9th, do you recall exchanging phone numbers with Stephanie so that you could actually text instead of just communicating through Facebook Messenger?
Yes.
And after August 9th, do you remember continuing to try and contact Stephanie to get in touch with her?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall sending Stephanie a Facebook message on August 26th of 2022?
Yes.
Okay, and August 27th of 2022?
Yes.
August 31st of 2022?
Yes.
And then a final message on August 31st.
Yes.
When you hadn't heard anything from Stephanie, did you get any responses to any of those messages?
When the response stopped, I received a text a few weeks later from another number.
Okay. So do you recall on September 14th then sending Stephanie a text message to her cell phone rather than communicating through Facebook Messenger?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as Exhibit 174. So I'm going to show it just to you first. It's going to come up on your screen right there in front of you. It's going to take a second. All right. Do you see what we have in front of you there?
Yes.
Okay. And there's a number with the last digits of 8558. Do you recognize that number?
Yes.
Okay. Is that your number?
Yes.
And what's the message that you sent to Stephanie?
You still got the pressure washer for sale.
Okay. And that's a message you sent to Stephanie on September 14th at 1:23 a.m.?
Yes.
Okay. Did you get a response to that text message?
I do not believe so.
Okay. And then you said a couple days later you got a message from a different number?
Correct.
Okay. I'm going to move Exhibit 174 into evidence and permission to publish.
Any objection?
No, sir.
All right, you may do so.
All right. So this is that message that we just talked about that you sent to Stephanie?
Yes.
Okay. Now, if I can show for just the witness, please, Exhibit 175. Were you familiar with the number that sent you a message talking about the power washer?
I was not.
Okay. I'm going to show you at the top of your screen. Can you go to the top, please? This is Exhibit 175. Do you recognize the phone number that's at the top?
I do not.
Can you please read that?
262-666-36.
And do you recognize these messages?
Yes, I responded to that message,
Okay.
questioning which pressure washer it was.
Okay. I would move Exhibit 175 into evidence and permission to publish.
Any objection?
No, sir.
175 is admitted.
Mr. Hobuck, do you recall giving law enforcement, they came to talk to you and they actually took a screenshot of your message, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the message on the left, who is that from? The message at the very top.
Unknown.
Okay, so that's coming from that number at the top that you don't know?
Correct.
Can you please read what it says?
I have your info from one of my workers who wasn't doing her job. There's a note, you're interested in a pressure washer that is for sale yet.
Okay, and at the bottom, underneath that message, does it say the date and time that you received that, or that it was
September 17th at 2:41 p.m.
Okay, and did you respond to that message?
Yes.
What did you say?
I'd buy a pressure washer. What do you got?
Did you know if this was referencing the same power washer or pressure washer that you'd been talking to Stephanie about?
I assumed because that was the only one I hadn't picked up.
Okay, so you had been making a lot of Facebook Marketplace purchases, and this was kind of an outstanding purchase?
Yep.
All right. And it looks like then you sent 4 more messages following September 17th and did not get a response. Is that
Correct.
true? Okay. And so, fair to say that you did not have any contact with Stephanie Pavlons after August 23rd of 2022?
No.
Okay. And you attempted to make contact and never received a response?
Correct.
And ultimately then you received a text message from an unknown number?
Yes.
Did you know how this number was related to
Hey,
Stephanie?
Carla. Happy Halloween.
I think earlier in the conversation she was selling stuff for her employer, so I figured this was her employer.
Okay. I don't have any other questions, sir.
All right, any cross?
Just a few questions, sir. So earlier in your conversation with Stephanie, she had told you she worked for somebody, true?
Yeah, she worked for a landscaping company, she said.
And she was trying to sell this
Some equipment.
on behalf of her employer.
Correct.
I have no further questions.
Right, thank you very, any regret?
No.
All right, thank you very much, sir. You're excused.
Thank you.
And by the way, I appreciate your dressing up for court.
Thank you.
I was just about to say.
On an everyday basis, you should see what people wear when they come.
I was going to say he made.
I think we just need a minute with the court to talk about the next witness.
Okay, let's take a short break, okay?
All right, Mr. Berry.
I was gonna say he may look out of it. How many kids know to dress up for court? Usually they come in and teach.
Okay, the jurors have left. Have a seat, everybody.
So Judge, we are not going to be bringing that witness next. We have our next witness is the lengthy witness, but I just wanted to let the court know that we weren't going to be bringing that witness in the jail next.
Okay, so it's just a little bit after 2 o'clock. And this witness, it's a detective?
Yes.
Schrader, is it?
Yes.
Okay. You know, I sent the jurors out, and anybody else need a break for a moment or anything? All right, go ahead, because they usually take a number of minutes before they come back in any event. Let's take a break for about till quarter after, okay? About timelines and information gain?
Yes.
All right, so then I might, in about 2 hours, figure we might.
Well, you got to do landscaping if you're going to sell a house.
Everybody know, all right? And then how many witnesses after that from the state, do you think?
Maybe 1 or 2.
You will be done on Monday?
Yes.
Okay, all right, very good. Then let's bring the jurors back. Anything else from the defense?
No, Your Honor. Oh,
Mr.
sorry.
Galloway, something?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. They were using the bathroom.
He looks so normal sitting there, doesn't he? It's evil man. Whether he killed her or not, he's still evil. Think he's gonna take the stand?
So thank you for your patience, ladies and gentlemen. I think what's going to happen is this. I'm told that our next witness is going to take, it's not going to finish today, okay? And so, you know, I'm not going to go into the evening hours. I know that at least one of the jurors expressed some desire to have some family time for trick or treat today, and I understand that. I'm going to go home, turn off all the lights, and hide in the basement. But, and I'll try to, so I'm going to try to break about 4 o'clock or something like that, okay? And then we'll let everybody go. We know for sure that the state's case will continue on until Monday at least. And then I think we're probably on track and might finish up early. I'm not guaranteeing anything, but maybe before Friday next week. We'll know better on Monday, okay? So with that, let's have the next witness, please.
Thank you. The state will call Detective Schrader.
Sir, come on up to the witness, stand to my right, remain standing and raise your right hand once you get up here.
The testimony you're about to give in this matter before the court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, ma'am. All right, please be seated. State your name, please.
First name David, D-A-V-I-D. Last name Schrader, S-C-H-R-O-E-D-E-R.
All right, thank you. Go ahead.
Detective, where are you employed?
I am employed as a detective with the Waukesha County Sheriff's Office, and I'm assigned to our computer forensics lab.
How long have you been in law enforcement?
I was hired as a deputy in December of 2014. promoted to detective in December of 2019. Within about 2 months of that, I was put into my position that I'm currently in.
You said you are assigned to the computer forensic lab. What does that mean?
For computer forensics lab, the primary, I guess, what we do is to identify, acquire, process, analyze, and report on electronically stored data. It's a long way of saying that we look at cell phones, computers, USBs, analyze that data, preserve that data for courtroom purposes. We also deal with historical cell site location analysis, which would be, whether you know it or not, your cellular provider, so AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, are keeping records that contain tower location information for every call, every text that you make. We as law enforcement utilize that information to get general locations of cellular devices.
To be in the computer forensic lab and to conduct a lot of these examinations of devices, do you need particular training and certifications?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, tell me about that.
So the majority of my training is at the United States Secret Service National Computer Forensics Institute, that is in Alabama. Down there I have over 500 hours of training. That ranges from Windows forensics to Mac forensics to Android and Apple, device repair, network intrusion, pretty much anything tech-based. I have a certification from the International Association of Computer Investigative Specialists, which certifies me as a computer forensic examiner. As part of that, I am a peer review coach for them, which means other candidates that want to acquire that certification. It's a 4-month process. They have to do different problem sets, and I'm assigned to review their work and coach them through the process. I also hold individual certifications in the various tools that we use, some of which you'll hear here are going to be Celebrite, maybe Axiom, Gray Key. So I hold certifications in all the tools that we use as well. On top of enough experience, since 2022, I have forensically examined over 500 individual devices. Instructor for Celebrite. So when I'm not working here, I'm a contract instructor for them and teach digital forensics. I teach their core classes, which would be regarding extractions of data, analysis of that data, and best practices in digital forensics. In terms of the historical cell site analysis, I've attended training through ABM Intel. They are a third-party training vendor for CellHawk. CellHawk is something that you'll hear quite a bit in my testimony. They hire third parties to teach their software and how to conduct record analysis of call detail records. In terms of experience with those, I think I've analyzed records in over 90 cases, and the total amount of records is in just north of 4 million records.
All right, excuse me for a second. You said you're going to use the term CellHawk. I presume that's a brand name?
That's correct, yes.
Can you spell that out for us, please? It sounds just the way it sounds.
Yep, CELLHAWK.
All right, thank you.
You said you've analyzed over 4 million records?
If you're going to count every individual record that is in the returns that we get, yes, it's over 4 million records.
And are you the individual at the Waukesha County Sheriff's Department that is responsible for any of that cell phone tower mapping that you've briefly described for the jury?
Yes, I do have another partner that does it with me, but I am our primary person that does this analysis.
Okay, and so you've told us that you work in the computer forensic lab. Is it just you, or do you have any partners in the lab?
I have one partner in the lab with me.
And are you and your partner responsible for what we've heard to be downloading and extracting the data from digital devices?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you do that for both your department and assist other agencies?
Correct.
Okay. Now, in this case, were you asked to assist in a death investigation related to a suspect and ultimately a defendant of Mr. Matthew Pahl, related to a body that was found in the woods near OAW on September 9th of 2022?
Yes, ma'am.
So initially, what was your role in the investigation?
Very first thing I did was analyze extract cell phone data from what was identified as the decedent's old cell phone.
Okay, so that would be the victim, Stephanie Pavlons?
Correct.
When you extract the data, can you just give us a pretty brief understanding of what exactly is happening and how you know that you're getting all the right data?
Yeah, so the tools we use, due to modern technology and encryption, reading the physical memory chip at like a binary level is not possible. So what our tools do on modern cell phones is conduct what we call a full file system extraction. That extraction of data extracts all live files available on the phone and puts them into a zipped container. So a lot of it is tables containing information, log files, your pictures, your text, your calls, and a bunch of stuff that you guys would not be able to see on your cell phone, such as system files and log files that you are not able to see by just clicking through your phone. Comes out into a zip container, and then either you have the training to look at that manually, or we'd put it into another tool to analyze that data.
Okay. Later in the investigation, after a search warrant was executed at Mr. Pahl's residence, were you provided with more devices to assist the investigation by downloading and extracting?
Yes, ma'am.
What were those devices?
I was provided what was identified to me as the victim's new cell phone, and then also Mr. Pahl's cell phone.
Okay. Later on in your investigation, were you provided some extraction information from Detective Fine from the city of Waukesha?
Yeah, a lot later on.
Right, about a year after the initial investigation starts?
Correct.
Okay. And did you save all of those files into the Sheriff's Department system so that Detective Plennis, Detective Fredericks, and even yourself could review some of those items?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And so overall, there were a number of electronic items in this case that were collected, and you were responsible for either making sure someone else was able to extract those or completing those extractions at the Sheriff's Department?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Once you completed those extractions, fair to say that you have a little bit and probably a lot more experience than some of the other detectives in the Detective Bureau with going through the phones, understanding the data that you're looking at, and maybe even finding other things that detectives in the Bureau wouldn't really understand or know what they're looking at.
Sure, that would be fair to say.
Okay. And as a Celebrite instructor, you're very familiar with the tool Celebrite that's used to actually review some of these devices?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, as part, you did some of these extractions, you assisted in some of the investigation, and very early on, you were provided with phone records.
Correct.
Why were you provided with phone records related to Stephanie Pavlons and ultimately then Mr. Matthew Pahl?
So our detectives that are assigned to do investigations, myself, I don't typically get assigned as like a lead detective or anything on an investigation. I serve in a support role. So the detectives assigned would typically obtain those records from the cellular provider via a warrant. Once they obtain those records from the provider, they bring them to me to either create graphical representations of that location data or analyze those records.
Okay. And
yes, ma'am.
Also, as part of this investigation, were you asked to assist both Detective Fredericks, Detective Plennis, and ultimately the prosecution team in kind of putting together a timeline of all of the things that you were able to locate within the digital devices, but also other pieces of the investigation and put them in time order?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's been marked as Exhibit 202, just for the witness first. Okay. This is a 124 slide PowerPoint.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Detective, did you create this in conjunction with Detective Fredericks and Detective Plennis as well as the DA's office?
Yes.
Okay. You recognize the exhibit? You then created this exhibit?
Yes, ma'am.
It seemed to be a an accurate of the PowerPoint.
From here it does. If you want to scroll the slides, I could.
Sure, we can do that.
Yes.
Okay. Defense will stipulate, I would move Exhibit 202 into evidence and permission to publish.
Any objection?
No, sir.
It's admitted.
Thank you. Just in this, did you know every single detail about the whole investigation in the same way that Detective Fredericks or Detective Plennis, as the lead detectives, understood and knew this investigation?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Were you asked, when asked to put this PowerPoint together, to provide specific pieces of information from different devices in order to help us put these this timeline in order?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So there may be some things that you know where it came from, but you don't know a lot of details about that piece of the investigation?
That's correct.
Okay. We're going to start with slide 1. well, slide 2. All right. You told us that you got the cell phone records for Mr. Pahl and Ms. Pavlons. Can you please explain to us what exactly we're looking at here and how call detail record analysis works?
Yeah, so before we get into the timeline portion of this PowerPoint, it's important that we understand portions of this PowerPoint, which are going to detail maps that show like a graphical representation of location data. It's likely that you guys have never seen it, so the first couple slides here just to explain a little bit about how your cell phones work and communicate with the network and the information that we receive from the provider that helps us map that information. So cell phones, well, modern cell phones are basically mini computers in your hand at their core level. They're a handheld radio that uses radio frequencies to communicate. When they're on, they're constantly scanning the network for the...
Can you slow down a little bit?
Yes, absolutely, I'm sorry. When your cell phone is on, it is constantly scanning the network, looking for the best tower. Should you choose to pick that phone up and make a call, it already knows which tower to connect to. It's interacting with the network constantly while it's on. That's important. If you turn the phone off, there's no longer that connection to the network. So while it's on, it's constantly going to be recording different records. Every phone call you make, every text message, anything that travels through the network will generate a record. In this case specifically, I use what's called time in advance records. Those are specialized. Those don't require the user to be using their phone, just that the device be on and connected to the network. Those are happening all the time. As the device moves around, these records are being generated and stored by your provider.
Can you go to the next slide, please?
Cell sites, I'm sure we've all seen them as you drive around, maybe along the interstate, but they come in all shapes and sizes. They're not always your standard cell tower in the middle of the woods. They could be on a building. They could be on a church steeple, pretty much anywhere. But a typical cell site is going to have what are called sectors, and there's going to be 3 of them. Each of those sectors covers approximately 120 degrees. So putting those 3 sectors together would give you the full 360 degrees of coverage around that tower. They're typically labeled as 1, 2, and 3. Sometimes it's 11, 12, 13. However the provider decides to name them, that's up to them. It's important to note that every cell tower is assigned a unique identifier that identifies that tower on the network. So when we analyze these records, we reference a cell site list, which we're able to get. And when we look at the records, we can pin that call down to a very unique and specific tower where that record was generated from. Outside the scope of what I'm talking about, network providers build these towers and place these towers to best facilitate their network. We don't determine where they go. So typically see more dense cell tower usage in like urban or metro areas, where if we get out into the rural areas, towers are much more spread out.
Okay. And the next slide, what are we looking at here?
So this is a cell tower that may look familiar to some of you, but at the bottom is an equipment structure that facilitates all the programming behind this tower. That's not anything to do with what I do. But at the top, on this tower, you can see there's a triangle-looking shape. There's a total of 12 antennas on that tower. Those 4 antennas, kind of where that gray arrow is pointing, those 4 antennas would come together to make one sector. So on this, we're seeing those 3 sectors, each one having 4 antennas.
Okay, next slide.
In the analysis that we do, you're going to be looking at like a bird's eye view, so you're going to be looking straight down on a map. You're kind of seeing on the compass on the right there, the 3 sectors, one being red, one blue, and one green. When we get the records, it'll give us the tower information, the sector that was used, and then an azimuth or whatever could be found in the cell site list that would tell us which direction that sector is facing. So if we're looking top down on a tower, due north is always 0 degrees, and then moving clockwise around that to get our 360 degrees. So according to this slide, or I guess not according to the slide, but it's on there. But if you think of a clock, every hour is 30 degrees. So if we got records back that said the sector was pointing towards 90 degrees, you could have a tower. It's not always going to be due north. It could have sectors facing any direction that they designed that tower to have.
Okay. And the next slide shows us an example of what a cell site and sector looks like. Tell me about this.
Correct. So this is out of Cellhawk. So this is exactly kind of what we're going to see. This one has all 3 sectors shaded. Typically, if it's one record that we're looking at, you'll only see one of those sectors showing. So it'll kind of look like a piece of a pie. You generally won't see all 3 sectors like that unless I'm showing like a still shot, and through that time lapse that I'm showing, every sector was used by the records.
Okay. And the next slide.
We just talked, but this is more so what you'll see if we're looking at one record. You'll have that pie shape. It's important to note that that shaded area has nothing to do with the coverage range of that tower or the radio frequency coverage from that tower. That shaded area is put on there just so that we can see or make it easier on our eyes to see which direction it's facing. Again, it has nothing to do with the coverage or area that that tower can cover.
Okay. And this is an example of call detail records, right? This is not an example of what it would look like with timing advanced?
Correct. This would be a simple, I'll call it simple, a simple call detail record. So a phone call that was made on the network, it would be this tower, this sector. That's all we would say off that record, is that it was using this tower and it was orientated facing southwest, we'll say.
Okay. And so in a case where you're using just call detail records, fair to say that you're going to have much fewer records that are actually available to law enforcement because your phone's only connecting to the network when it makes a call or receives a call or a text?
Correct. If we were only doing analysis on a basic call detail record and did not have the advanced location data, you could have very large gaps in your records, because if they're not using their phone, if they're not making a call or not making a text, you just have a gap in the records then.
Okay. But in this case, you actually had timing advanced records.
Correct.
Okay. Can we go to the next slide, please? Tell me about that.
So a timing advanced record, as I said, does not require the user to be interacting with their phone. So as long as the phone is on and connected to the network, these records are being generated. Similarly to the previous stuff we talked about, it'll give you a cell tower location, a sector or an azimuth for which direction that antenna is facing, and then it also gives you a distance from the tower. That estimated distance is based on a delay in time. So these signals travel at the speed of, I believe it's light, radio waves. So if we know the speed that radio waves move, and we know how long it takes that signal to go to a device and back to a tower, it assigns a time in advance value to that distance. Based on that delay in time, we can estimate a distance that that device would be from the tower.
Okay. And I see that this arc on the slide goes all the way from the left, where it says University Heights, kind of over the Waukesha DMV and then down to the Waukesha County Expo Center. What's the significance of that arc and I guess that entire distance?
So if we were looking at these arcs, or I was doing analysis on this, let's say we were looking for somebody and patrol called and said, where should we look? I would look at this record and I would look for typically high points along the large arc you're seeing there. So the big arc that goes around, this record is indicating that the device is likely in proximity to that arc. Somewhere along that arc is where the device is most likely located. So this specific record, I'd look at some of the places you named, but Country Springs Water Park, the DMV, the Expo Center, those are all places that they would likely be, probably not on the airport grounds, but I would look at high points and send people there to look for somebody.
Okay, so this doesn't tell you just based on the arc exactly where the device is, right?
Not at all.
Okay. Next slide, please. You obtained from Detective Plennis records from Mr. Matthew Pahl's cell phone. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And these are the records that you see on your screen and the phone number that you obtained those records from?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And why do you need all of these files?
So these are from T-Mobile. I don't determine what they send back. We make a request for the records that we want, and they respond with however they provide those. In this case, they provided a help document, a certification of these records, and then you'll see the files named CDR Meditations or Mediations. That's I'll call that the basic level call detail record. That's for your calls and your text. The data sessions file is for data usage. And then they broke down all the different time in advance files by date range.
Okay. And the next slide. These were the similar records that you obtained from Stephanie Pavlons' phone number ending in 7991.
That's correct.
Okay. And you used these same records, similar types of files, but for a different phone number to track Ms. Pavlons' device.
Correct.
Okay. Once you have these records and you have all of it looks like they come in Excel files.
For T-Mobile, yes, Excel files.
Okay.
It varies, but yes, these ones are in Excel files.
Okay. Once you receive the Excel file, what do you do with it?
Typically, we'll put them into CellHawk. I know I mentioned a lot of training, but it's as simple as dragging and dropping these Excel files into the software. What that software is designed to do is map these records. So it's important that we map them, but in these, there's probably, I didn't do a total, but there's thousands of records in here. So if I wanted to by hand, I could go through and map thousands of records by hand, but the software will do that very quickly for us. Where it would take me days, weeks, months to map all this, it'll do it in probably less than 5 minutes. And then we'll go in and verify any key points of interest.
Okay. Once you have the records in CellHawk, are you then able to narrow it down by a specific day or a specific time frame that you want to look more closely at?
Yes, you can apply filters to the data sets. So depending on what the request is or what I'm trying to analyze, I would apply filters to see that information.
And in this case, were you asked to first in your investigation look at the date of August 23rd for these records?
In summary, yes, but I first looked at Ms. Pavlons' records. Those are the first ones I had, and gave a general overview of the device's movements for that device.
Okay, and that assisted later in the investigation with determining kind of the last known place she was, video was obtained from those areas?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are you also able to make animations from this CellHawk software?
Yes, ma'am.
Why is that helpful in an investigation?
So again, these records might not always get you down to an exact pinpoint area where the device is, but if you analyze them enough, you're able to see general routes of travel and established time frames for when a device maybe leaves or comes to an area. So I guess that's why we use the animations, is to show you guys and show other people that maybe don't have the training experience that general movement of a device.
You said that the difference between a call detail record and a timing advance is really comes down to the number of records that are retained. Is that right? There's a lot more records retained in timing advanced that are going to show you location information?
Correct. The time in advance, again, doesn't require the user to be using the phone. This is generating a lot more records than you'll call or text on your device. So there's going to be a lot more time in advance location information than there would be in a basic CDR. We also don't get that distance measurement in a basic CDR. So all I can really say is it's in this area away from the tower. I don't know precisely how far from the tower it may be.
Okay. Now the next slide is going to go into our timeline. We start on August 19th. Throughout your assistance in this investigation, were you asked to review Skype messages that were obtained from Mr. Pahl's phone? And when I say review, I'm asking, were you asked to kind of find those within the devices and put those together?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to start on August 19th. If you can please read what we have here in the messages.
So beginning on August 19th, each of the following timestamps I'm going to give will be on August 19th. But these are a conversation through Skype between Mr. Pahl and Sherilyn, or who is Beautiful Disaster in Skype. At 6:32 a.m., Pahl says in part, "Find out about your annulment. I just want you to understand that so it's not a surprise, because it's becoming surreal for me that that soon I will be there." At 6:43 a.m., Pahl says, "Also, you really had no reason to apologize to Stephanie. I'm asking you to just leave her alone for now. I don't think she'll be a good friend anyways. At 7:12 a.m., Pahl says, don't make me ask you again because I will set it up. You won't be able to talk to her. 7:38 a.m., Pahl says in part, I'm hoping my future will be in the Philippines with a good, honest girlfriend.
Okay. And the next
What do these
slide,
women see in this
this
man?
is on August 20th. Were you also aware that there were Skype messages between the victim, Stephanie Pavlons, and the defendant, Mr. Matthew Pahl?
Yes, ma'am, there were quite a few.
And Skype is a little different in how they display, I guess, the messages from who they're from and who they're to, right?
Yes, it depends on which tool you're using to analyze it, or if you're looking for records you obtained from Skype themselves, yes.
Okay. And here we have in the message from and message to columns different live usernames from Skype, right?
Yes, those are Skype user IDs.
And were you able to determine which messages come from Mr. Pahl and which messages come from Ms. Pavlons?
Yes, the live ID ending in BAB4 is for Matthew Pahl's account. The live Skype ID ending in 7432 is for Stephanie Pavlons' Skype account.
Okay. And these messages occurred on August 20th of 2022?
Yes, ma'am.
Really, the significance of these messages is there's discussion about going swimming at the Y, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. August 21st, please. Based on your review of Mr. Pahl's initial cell phone, were you able to determine when he connected to the Wi-Fi in the Waukesha YMCA?
There was a log file that indicated he connected to the YMCA Wi-Fi at 1:40 p.m. about 1:40 p.m. on August 21st, 2022.
Why is that something that you might, as an investigator, want to know where they're logging into Wi-Fi or connecting to Wi-Fi?
If we're talking about locations, it's helpful in identifying where they may be.
Okay, I'm going to play for you first this video on the left, which occurs at 4:17 to 4:19 p.m. And Detective, you recognize this as Willow Park surveillance video?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and the next video, please.
What are we watching?
Can we pause it, please? Oh, that's fine. Detective Schrader, you saw Ms. Pavlons come up to the door and try and open it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And she then sends a text message to Mr. Pahl from her phone to his phone saying here?
Correct.
Okay. And we're not going to watch the rest of the video, but you review the video and Mr. Pahl returns and actually lets her in as he walks out.
Yeah, he walks out, doesn't appear to acknowledge her, and she slips in the door behind him, yes.
Okay, and that timestamp was consistent with the timestamp of the text message that you reviewed from the devices?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Going to the next slide, please. You were also asked to assist in reviewing and compiling some of the email records that were obtained by Detective Plennis, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And this is an email between Ms. Sherilyn Valente from a Gmail address to Mr. Matthew Pahl at a Phoenix 48.
Yes, those emails were identified to me, but that's what I was told, yes.
Okay, so you're asked, these are kind of the important things. Can you please look at these, find these, and assist us in putting them in time order?
Correct.
Okay. What does this email say and the date and time, please?
So it's August 22nd, 2022. It's an email from Sherilyn Valente to Matthew Pahl's email account. The subject is either praying hands or clapping hands in a black heart. And the body of the message reads, "Life isn't the same without you. Please come back," with a couple emojis after them.
Okay. The next slide is from August 23rd, and this is where you begin mapping some of the cell phone records. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Tell me what we're looking at here on this slide.
So this is a still shot. I applied a filter to the records. I actually applied from midnight, so 0000 to 0830 on August 23rd, 2022. And I noticed that both devices, so from here on out, the blue records will be Mr. Pahl's device, the red records will be Ms. Pavlons' device, but all records between that time frame used a cell tower on top of 1001 Delafield.
And the tower was actually on top of the apartment building where they were staying?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Why is it important in an investigation like this to have not just the records of the deceased, but also the records of someone that lives with her?
I'm not sure what you mean by that,
Okay.
but if you have another
I'm
question,
going to
go
ask
ahead.
you a different question.
Okay.
Why do you have them separate on this particular slide?
On this particular one, when these records overlap, they kind of look purple. So to keep it as clear as I could, these are the exact same time frames, the exact same geographical area, but I just showed the records separately to see that you could see that both the blue and the red devices are using that tower.
Okay, and this slide is not animated because we're looking, they're not moving, right? The records are all in one location.
Yes, they're either at or very near that area this entire time frame.
Okay, next slide, please. Detective, you're familiar with the 1001 Delafield location of Willow Park Apartments?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what are those numbers associated with on the photos?
So the left picture is a top-down view of 1001 Delafield. I added the 7 and the 4 to this picture. The cameras were labeled internally as channel 1, 2, 3, etc. So that number 7 is on the north door. That was where channel 7 was. And then the 4 is near where door 4 or channel 4 is. Same with the picture on the right. This would be looking from north to south. So we're on the north end of the building, looking at the building. The numbers slip down a little bit, but right above door, or the number 7, you can see that north entry door. And then, can I draw on here?
Sure.
So, door 4 is actually down in here.
Can we please preserve that for the record, Madam Clerk? Thank you. Okay, if we can clear the screen, please, and we'll go to the next slide. Now, Detective, we've watched these videos a number of times, but tell me what's the importance of this particular slide and the timing of this slide?
Excuse me. So this is the last video that I'm aware of that Ms. Pavlons is seen leaving this apartment complex.
Okay, and this is at what time?
It's on August 23rd, 2022 at 08:39:20. She's going to walk out within that video clip within a couple seconds there.
Okay, and detectives took note of her possessions, and that became a significant point in the investigation, right?
Correct.
Okay, if we can please play this slide. Okay, and the next slide, please. What time is this? This is the camera 4 now.
This would be channel 4, yes.
And what time is this at?
It's on August 23rd, 2022 at approximately 8:40:22 a.m.
Okay, can we push play, please?
I know, we're so used to that, right, Wiggles?
Next slide.
Sue Hopper's probably wondering the same thing. Why
Okay,
aren't
Detective,
they
what are we looking
objecting?
at on this slide, which is slide 19?
So this again is out of Cellhawk. Going to be a little more information now, but what this is going to be is an animation between 8:35 a.m. and 8:48 a.m. I note on the top of this slide a speed. So that is 1 second here in the animation is 15 seconds of real time. So it's not going to play at real time. It's going to be a little sped up. And then the records are set to fade at 30 seconds. So once a record appears, once 30 seconds of real time passes, that record will disappear from the screen. If you're showing a lot of records, sometimes it gets real messy. So having that fade to have them fall off after a time makes it a little more clear to see. Do you want to know what we're going to see in this in terms of animation?
Yes, please.
No, that's lawful law.
So
it's not legal.
at
It's
about
lawful law.
8:40, you're going to see records start to pop up, and then it's going to go to 8:48 where the devices are clearly moving north away from this area. So there's a blue pin on there. That is 1001 Delafield Street.
And that's just a little bit north of the coop.
That's correct. Yep. So it's.
Can you circle that on your screen so the jury can see that? Okay.
I'm sorry, it's green.
That's probably
That's,
how
that's
she
fine.
felt.
And can you
Like
also
Ernest Trial.
circle the quick trip
Why aren't they
pin that you
objecting?
have so we can have a frame of reference?
Detective, do you know how to change the color?
I don't. I'm sorry.
I know how to change the color.
All right, so touch that, right. There you go. And you can erase the others first if you want as well. There's the eraser thing at the bottom.
It looks like they went away. So
Now can you circle them? Okay, that's much better.
So the first or the lower circle is 1001 Delafield Street. The upper circle is Quick Trip at 2001 Gulf Road on the city of Waukesha.
Can you please preserve that? Okay, and so you said the records will begin to animate once we push play?
Yes, and then just for reference here, not the Google icons are like where Sobelman's of Waukesha is, not that icon or the Coop icon, but you'll see a bunch of different orange dots across the map. Those are various towers on T-Mobile's network from the cell tower list that we have.
Okay. You created a number of animations for this case for a number of different days, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you include the towers in all of those animations?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. Why do you do that?
So it's always important. It is best practice to show all the towers available. With time in advance records, which is what we're going to see here, it's given a distance measurement, and it doesn't always have to be the strongest tower. Any tower can register a time in advance measurement on a device. If we were doing analysis on just going back to the basic call detail record where all I have is a tower and a sector, your calls and your texts are generally going to use the closest tower. Not always, but generally they're going to be the closest tower. So if I didn't have that distance measurement, and all I had was a tower and sector, it's important to know where the other towers are around it, because I can start getting a little more detailed in where the device may be. If I just had one of those pie shapes in the middle of my screen here, I would just say the device could be anywhere in this area. But if I know where the other towers are, I can hone in a little bit better to give you a better idea of where the device may be.
Okay. If we could clear the screen, please, Madam Clerk. Okay, so we're going to see the devices begin to move around what time?
It's about 8:44. You'll start to see them moving north. It's a little zoomed out, so I'll try to have you pause when I see them moving north.
Okay, and this is, what are we going to see actually on the screen moving?
You'll see red and blue pies and arcs that are going to start to pop up, and those will begin moving north away from that. They'll begin at 1,000 in the area of 1001 Delafield Street. They'll eventually begin moving north along Delafield Street.
Okay, we can push play on this slide, please. Okay, Detective, it seems like there at the end we saw a lot of activity. What were we seeing in the beginning, and what are we looking at now that we've completed that animation?
Yes, and I don't know what second mark it was in the video, but at about 8:46 a.m. is when I see the device begin, or devices begin moving north. So we're going to step back a little bit as we go forward in the slides, but you see the different colors popping up near 1001 Delafield. If we zoomed way in on this map, you'd see more detail. But they're in the area of 1001 Delafield. They then begin moving north along Delafield Street, west on Northview, and then ultimately northbound on Grandview, which is the very large arc that's coming down, up and down on the screen there. It's right along that line in the middle where you see the Culver's icon.
Okay, so it's important to not just look at the pie shapes, but also the long arcs that are coming across?
The arcs are very important, yes.
Okay, tell me about why the arc is more important. Or maybe just very important.
So to answer your question, the pie shape, remember, is just to make it easier on our eyes. It's just showing us which direction that sector is facing. Those large arcs that are coming out where you see the individual lines, again, if we're looking for somebody that has a device, we're going to be looking along that line. The device is generally going to be in the area of that large arc. In a perfect world, and I can kind of see it on this one, but can I mark up again, please? So this record here, and this record here, we see these arcs like this, and we see this arc like this. Those are within about, it looks like one's at 47 seconds, one's at 30, so about 9 seconds apart. So if I were to be desperately trying to find whoever has these devices, I would send people to where these arcs intersect. And that's likely going to be where the device, it's going to be in that general area. We now have 2 different towers registering that device in a very close time proximity. Where those arcs cross is where I would send my team to look.
Okay, can we please preserve this for the record? And then clear the screen, please. Can we go to the next slide, please? Okay. What happens at 8:41 a.m.?
At 8:41 a.m., there are 2 text messages sent from Matthew Pahl's device to Stephanie Pavlons' device. So this is a snippet out of one of our tools, but the first text is on August 23rd, 2022 at 8:41:07 a.m. It's to Ms. Pavlon's phone number, and it says "I see," and then there's like eyeball emojis. Approximately 1 second later, at 8:41:08 a.m., there's another message with a capital U that is sent.
Okay, and the next slide, please. You were aware that detectives obtained some dash cam video that was a dash cam that was mounted on Mr. Matthew Pahl's vehicle, and ultimately one video from August 23rd was recovered?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and that's what we're looking at here?
Yes, ma'am.
What time is this dash cam being captured at?
What time does it say here, or what time do I know this dash cam's from?
Both.
So the time frame displayed on the video is August 23rd, 2022 at 21:44:27. That timestamp is 13 hours ahead of where it should be. So the actual time would be August 23rd, 2022 at 8:44:27 a.m.
Okay, so at 8:41, there's a text message, "I see you," and then at 8:44, we have this dash camera video. Is that accurate?
That's correct.
Okay, can we play this video, please? Okay, and the next slide. Where was that dash cam captured? Where was Mr. Pahl when he picks up Ms. Pavlons?
So that dash cam depicts the vehicle turning into Moreland Medical, which is just north of 1001 Delafield. So on this map here where it says V&N Productions, that building there is 1001 Delafield. So I use Google Maps to mark the distance from the north drive into 1001 Delafield up to the driveway of Moreland Medical. It's about 420 feet north of 1001 Delafield.
Okay. Next slide, please. Now it looks like we're going to see an animation from 8:45 a.m. going forward. What are we looking for in this particular animation?
So this overlaps partially with the first animation we saw. Again, it's very zoomed out, but in this animation, you will see the devices leave the area of 1001 Delafield Street and travel to the area of Quick Trip, which is at 2001 Gulf Road in the city of Waukesha.
Okay, and you previously circled that pin, so I'm not going to ask you to do that again. Anything else we need to know about this or know what we're looking for before we play this slide?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, we can go ahead and push play. Okay, it looks like the animation has stopped. Where are those arcs for both devices crossing over here?
So a couple points here. The arcs are very near that Quick Trip pin, but you can see there's one full circle there. So if Cellhawk is unable to identify which sector was used, it still has a valid distance measurement, but because it can't determine the sector, it places that full circle on there. So it's still accurate distance-wise, but it doesn't know which sector from that. Yes, I'm sorry. So if Cellhawk cannot determine which sector is used, it'll map the full circle. So we still know that the distance from the tower is good. It does it as to be safe, it maps the full circle saying, we don't know which sector was used, but it's somewhere along this full circle.
Okay, and is that true for both Ms. Pavlon's device and Mr. Pahl's device that it's mapping a full circle?
I think I only see it could be purple. It looks red at this point, but you may see it on both devices in the animations.
Okay, and then if we could go to the next slide, please, slide 24. we're not going to watch this. The jury's already seen this, but you agree that as part of your investigation in obtaining these records and reviewing them, you also want to corroborate any information from cell phone records by other available evidence, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And by reviewing the Quick Trip video, were you able to corroborate whether or not those records that you obtained and the mapping that we just saw was accurate?
Yes, ma'am, and I think that goes to show how accurate the records can be, because I actually used the records to send my partner out to Quick Trip to obtain this video.
So we didn't even know that Mr. Pahl and Ms. Pavlons had been to the Quick Trip until you reviewed the cell phone records and saw Ms. Pavlons' device near that location?
That's correct.
Okay. So you would agree that in this slide, Mr. Pahl's truck enters the Quick Trip parking lot?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We'll go to the next slide, please. We can play this one.
This should be a still shot.
Oh, okay. So I'm sorry. Let's go back. Tell me what we're looking at here.
So here you're seeing a still shot. I applied a filter to the records to only show records on August 23rd, 2022, between approximately 8:52 a.m. and 9:13 a.m. All of the arcs that you're seeing, with the exception of one, are very, very near the Quick Trip. That arc coming off the very top record there, so it's a red pie shape facing southwest and a large arc. That's actually a record at 9:13 a.m. and it's further west of Quick Trip. So at this point, they knew that by 9:13 a.m. the devices had left Quick Trip.
Okay. And the next slide. What are we looking at here?
Same thing. This is just zoomed in, showing Quick Trip and where those arcs are crossing closer up.
Okay, so unlike the last slide where you were maybe, there was particular times associated, you did a whole time frame in these last two slides of seeing all the records within that time frame, right?
Yes, I just did it zoomed out so you could see what towers that information was coming from.
And this shows you that those two devices are at or near the Quick Trip on Gulf Road.
Yes, ma'am.
The next slide, please. Again, you reviewed the Quick Trip video to corroborate that Ms. Pavlons actually entered and kind of corroborate the time frame at which those records on CellHawk showed the two devices being at Quick Trip.
Yes, ma'am.
Next slide, please. Okay, and you reviewed all of the Quick Trip video from this particular time frame, and what did you observe while you reviewed that video when they're inside the truck?
So I believe this video, Ms. Pavlons comes back to the truck and gets in. There's then a gap in video on this PowerPoint. I did review the video between that gap, and I didn't note anything unusual.
Okay, and the next slide. I'm going to ask to play this slide, please. This starts at 9:08:38 a.m. Is that accurate?
Yes, ma'am.
pause it here. So I've paused it at 9:10 a.m. Detective, when a vehicle starts to move, how long is it going to take before you're going to start to see a change in the records from a location?
It depends how many records are being generated. In theory, it would be immediately, but it all depends on how many records are being generated at a given time. So it may take some time just to see that gap in the distance of the arcs moving.
Okay, and we're going to start the video again at 9:10. Okay, Detective, based on this video, were you able to determine what time the vehicle left the Quick Trip and entered Gulf Road?
Yes, it appears it turned west on the Gulf Road at approximately 9:11:20.
Okay. Next slide, please. Now we're looking from 9:12 to 9:20. Where's the approximate location of the devices during this time frame?
So at this time, or between that time frame, you will see the devices generally moving west from the Quick Trip pin towards the OAW pin. Based on my analysis, the devices will be in the area of OAW, or Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, between approximately 9:15 and 9:18 a.m.
Okay, so we'll start.
I need a new knee, y'all. My knee hurts.
Okay, Detective, fair to say that everything we've seen so far indicates that both devices from Mr. Pahl and Ms. Pavlons travel north to the area of Quick Trip and then west to the area of OAW.
Yes, ma'am.
Those devices, their records indicate that they are traveling the same approximate path.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next slide, please. Then we know from OAW records that Mr. Pahl had an appointment on August 23rd, and according to these records, he checked in at 9:34 a.m. You see that the bottom left, sir?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And next slide, please. What are we looking at here?
This was a picture recovered on Matthew Pahl's device. What you're seeing on the right is what's called metadata. That holds information about what type of camera, make and model captured this photo, and date and time that the picture was captured. So that camera model matches that of Matthew Pahl's cell phone, and it was captured at 8/23/2022 at approximately 9:34:07 a.m. And I've never been inside, but it does appear to be consistent with Orthopedic Associates type environment.
Okay. Do you recall, you said this was sent through Skype, so that's not, he's sending it through a Skype application on his cell phone?
Yes, this message was sent through a Skype message,
Okay.
yes.
Next slide, please. This indicates that Mr. Pahl checked in or was first seen at 9:38 a.m. and his time out of the appointment was at 10:33 a.m. You agree with that?
That does appear accurate, yes.
Okay, thank you. Now, the next slide, please. What are we looking at here?
This is another animation. It covers a pretty wide time frame. The time frame is on August 23rd, 2022, from approximately 09:20 a.m. to 10:55 a.m. Primarily, all the records are going to be at or very near OAW. And at approximately 10:54, you will see at least one record that, based on my analysis, shows the devices are beginning to move east.
Okay, so we'll push play here. Okay, what did we say there, Detective?
Again, the devices, or the majority of the records in this animation, are at or very near, appears to be the same area of OAW. And then right at the very end there, approximately 10:54 a.m., you start to see those records or arcs moving east.
Okay, so based on the record from OAW in the slide before that, with his appointment ending at 10:33 a.m., the time period between 10:33 a.m. and 10:54 a.m., Mr. Pahl's device and Ms. Pavlons' device both remain in the area of OAW?
It appears so, yes.
Okay. Next slide, please. What are we looking at here?
Time frame is August 23rd, 2022, between approximately 10:52 a.m. and 11:04 a.m. In this animation, you'll see both devices take a general route of east on either I-94 or one of the side streets there to Grandview Boulevard. They'll go south on Grandview, east on Northview, south on Delafield, back to the area of 1001 Delafield.
Okay, and this animation overlaps a little bit with the last animation we saw?
Correct.
Okay, so will we see those, when that moment when those devices begin to move away from OAW on this animation as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. If we can push play. Next slide, please. The last slide we saw went up to 11:03 a.m. What are we watching here?
This is video from the north door at 1001 Delafield. You can kind of see outside there to the parking lot. You'll see a truck pass within this video that resembles Matthew Pahl's truck.
Okay, we can push play, please. Okay, so at 11:03, Mr. Pahl's truck enters the parking lot. Was that consistent with what you saw on the cell phone records?
Yes, ma'am.
And did that again corroborate the validity of the records that you had obtained and reviewed and mapped?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next video, please. This is now at 11:14 a.m. Detective, we saw his truck pull in at 11:03 a.m.?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so he's not seen on video until about 11:14 a.m. Is that correct?
To my knowledge, that's correct. Yes.
All right. If we can push play here. Detective, to your knowledge, are there any outdoor cameras at Willow Park Apartments that would capture anything that's occurring in the parking lot?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Okay. And you actually assisted in obtaining the video with Department of Criminal Investigations to bring back to your department and assist detectives in reviewing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is this the only camera view that really shows any portion of the parking lot?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. We'll go to the next slide then, please. What are we looking at here, Detective?
This will be a very long time lapse, but it covers from August 23rd, 2022, from approximately 11 a.m. to 23:59 hours, or essentially midnight on August 23rd. During the animation, the devices appear to stay at or very near 1001 Delafield.
Okay. So up to this point now, you've essentially mapped the entire day of August 23rd, starting with that first animation that shows, their records remaining in the same place now through this animation going through midnight.
Yes, ma'am.
Why did you want to see all of the records on that particular day?
At that time, that was the date that was given to me of interest. And to my knowledge, that was the last time we ever saw Ms. Pavlons on camera.
Okay, so we're going to play this animation, please. Okay, Detective, there were a lot of records there, but did you see the devices at any point move away from that location?
If they did, it's in very close proximity to that area.
Okay. Next slide, please. What time is this video from Willow Park taken at?
This is August 23rd, 2022 at 12:19:14 p.m.
Okay. Play, please. Okay, next slide, please. So we see him walk outside at 12:20 p.m.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, next slide, please. Play. Okay, and we see Mr. Pahl walking out towards the parking lot at 12:20 p.m.
Yes, ma'am.
Next slide. What time does this video start?
August 23rd, 2022 at 12:29:50 p.m.
Play, please.
Matthew Pahl's Skype account and Norma Jean Desierto Skype account. At 8:03, Pahl sends a message that reads, "I'm really worried about something, but I can't tell you through text. It's not about me though." And I think there's a typo there. I believe these messages are at 8:07 p.m. and 8:08 p.m.
Oh, okay.
I believe, I could be mistaken here, but so at what I believe is 8:07 p.m., Pahl sends "can't text certain things," and at 8:08 p.m., I believe, Desierto responds, "Okay, I understand, but does it concern you, hon?"
Okay. Next slide, please. Also on August 24th, what are we looking at on this slide?
Yes, this gets a little confusing. The screenshot on your right, it's not actually a screenshot. It's what's called a snapshot. So similar to how you would take a screenshot on your device, sometimes when you close an application, your device automatically takes a snapshot of that closed application.
I
So
know.
what we're seeing here is a snapshot taken on Stephanie Pavlons' device.
I keep saying,
on
why do we
September
have to keep
2nd.
looking at these stairs
The
over and
reason
over?
I included this on August 24th is that I determined that text message that indicates she missed an appointment scheduled on August 24th, I believe is the first point that we realized or got another source of information that she was missing from things that she should be at. So that occurred. So the screenshot occurs on September 2nd. I'm including it here, just given that's the first appointment she missed, was on August 24th. And then there's other messages in that screenshot that were deleted from her device.
Okay. And how do you know when they were deleted?
So we can't always tell exactly when something's deleted from a cell phone, but I know this snapshot was captured from the device on September 2nd. So these messages had to have been deleted at some point after, or on or after September 2nd, 2022.
Because on September 2nd, they still existed on her phone.
Correct.
And when you reviewed her phone weeks later, they did not exist on her phone.
Correct.
Okay. Next slide, please. Now we're on to August 25th. Tell us what happens on August 25th.
At 8:15 a.m., Pahl's Skype account messages Desierto's Skype account, and it reads, but I have to go to store today for things I need, and I'm really worried about somebody in my circle. At 11:19 a.m., there's an outgoing call from Stephanie Pavlons' device to the Pick and Save pharmacy. That call was approximately 3 minutes and 20 seconds. This call was deleted from her device.
Okay, next page. Oh, actually, I want to ask you one more question for that. Given that we don't have any mapping data thus far for Ms. Pavlons' device at 11:19, would that indicate to you that the device was at or near the 1001 Delafield Street location when the call was made?
Yes, ma'am.
Now we can go on to the next slide. Are you familiar with this receipt that was obtained in the investigation for prescription records of Ms. Pavlons?
That's how they were identified to me, yes.
Okay. And what was significant about this particular date and time? What happens?
That they were sold at 16:17, that's Eastern time. So this prescription was sold on 8/25/2022 at 3:17 p.m. our time, or local time. And it says that the person that picked it up was Matthew Pahl.
Okay. Then later in the evening, tell us about the conversation between Delafield and Mr. Pahl.
At approximately 6:50 p.m., Paul sends Desierto a Skype message reading, "I don't know, but I'm getting even more worried." At 7:25 p.m., Paul sends a message hoping something bad didn't happen. And at 7:28 p.m., Desierto sends, "Please stay calm and don't be worried much." And then those little brackets are from emojis.
Okay. Next slide, please. We've moved on to August 26th. What are we looking at here?
An email exchange between Matthew Pahl's, I'll say Phoenix Gmail account and Sherilyn Valente's email account. It begins at the bottom and works up. So the first message is from Sherilyn Valente, and it reads, "I love you so much, hun," emoji, "please don't give up on us." And then there's more emojis. There are some typos or grammatical errors in the message.
Okay. And when's the next message sent?
So that next message reads August 26, 2022 at 20:29 hours. That would be 8:29 p.m. Based on my review of information, I'm not sure what happened with that timestamp, but I believe that's actually at 7:29 a.m. That is from the Phoenix account, which wrote, "I can't say much now, but I think something bad happened here. Don't ask me through text. I'm not going to get into texting battles with you. When you're ready to be honest, I'll consider things. Right now, I need to focus and stay positive. Unfortunately, people around me have been drawing me into negativity."
Okay. And the final message in this exchange?
The final message is written by Sherilyn Valente's email account. It's at 9:31:30 a.m. and it reads, "I won't ask. I'll wait for you when you're ready to tell. Hun, I care about you and you're important to me." Emojis. "I won't do things that will hurt you. I love you, hun, so much. I'm sorry for adding you troubles. Please come back to me, hun. I love you."
Okay. And the next page, also on August 26th, what happens?
At 6:04 a.m., so kind of in the middle of that email exchange we just reads, "I woke up with a bad feeling."
Okay, I want to stop you there. Just to be clear, the email that was occurring was with Sherilyn Valente, right? That we just
Correct.
read. Cierto?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
So that's at 6:04 a.m. At 7:30 a.m., Matthew Pahl's phone is specifically gmtoday.com, the Waukesha obituaries webpage, and conducts a search on GM Today for Stephanie Pavlons.
And then within that page is searching for that name?
It doesn't appear that the search is made through the obituaries page, just that it's made through GM Today's website.
Okay, so he just goes to the GM Today website and is searching for her name?
Correct.
Okay. At this point in the investigation, does law enforcement know that Stephanie is deceased?
At this point, no.
Okay. Has anyone made any report of Stephanie missing endangered or not in any way harmed?
That I'm aware of. 7:34 to 8:11 a.m. There's several instances of a police scanner app being activated on Matthew Pahl's phone.
I don't know,
Specifically
Wiggles.
between
I
7:34
guess they take
and
notes.
7:44 a.m.
I guess that's why they take notes.
Very quickly
This
back
is how I
open
stay
at
awake playing
7:44
crossword
a.m. to
puzzles.
7:46 a.m. and then again at 8:06 a.m. and it remains open until 8:11 a.m. approximately.
Okay, next slide, please. What do we see here on August 26th?
Continuing on August 26th at 10:49 a.m., Ms. Pavlons' cell phone receives, I'm seeing one of my records here. So the top line here you're seeing is an outgoing call. Make sure I'm reading this right. All right, so the top record that we're seeing there is an outgoing call from Ms. Pavlons' phone. It's not her phone making that call. So there's an incoming call. That call is routed to voicemail. So what we're seeing is the calling number, which is 262-784, is calling out to a number ending in 9999. That is T-Mobile's voicemail. So what's likely to have occurred here is that the phone was off. Therefore, we only have an outgoing call from her phone where that incoming call is being routed out to voicemail. That's why you're not seeing her phone number in this record. At 1:28 p.m. then, there's an outgoing call from Ms. Pavlons' phone where somebody is calling out to check the voicemail on that device.
Okay, and both the incoming call and the outgoing call would have occurred while the device is at or near 1001 Delafield.
Like that movie Click. Do you remember that Adam Sandler movie Click where you have the remote control?
And you note for the top record that this is only in her CDR. What does that mean?
So this one recovers, again, because the device is likely off, just the outgoing call routed to voicemail. I do not incoming call on her device for this call. So even though her device is off in the physical device, I don't see that call. I'm able to see that this call did occur based on records from her provider, T-Mobile.
Okay, then what about later that evening?
At approximately 4:32 p.m., approximately, we'll say 5:28 p.m. to 5:29 p.m., there's 3 incoming calls. The reason I'm changing that is the top call that we're seeing there. This is from Facebook records. The top call there occurs on August 25th. The next 3 calls are back to back to back on August 26th. That's UTC time. So locally here, those 3 calls occur between 5:28 p.m. and 5:29:47 p.m. And those are missed calls from Layla on Facebook.
Okay, and you said that that first call actually occurred on August 25th, right?
That's correct.
What time did that occur on August 25th?
Looks like August 25th, 2022 at 4:32 p.m. locally here.
Okay, and all 4 of those calls were missed through Facebook?
According to the Facebook records, yes.
Okay, and only 3 of those actually occurred on August 26th?
Correct.
All right. So if the last call happens at 5:29 p.m., let's go to the next slide, please. What happens at 5:30 p.m.?
At 5:30 p.m., there's an incoming call on Stephanie Pavlons' phone. It's from Layla. That call is getting routed out to voicemail. So here's kind of what I was talking about earlier, but you have an incoming call from a number ending in 6552. It's calling Ms. Pavlons' number ending in 799 to voicemail, which is 6552, calling the 9999 number.
Okay. So we have 3 missed Facebook calls and then 1 call to her actual phone number, all from Layla.
Yes, that's correct.
And Layla, you know to be her daughter that she shares in common with Mr. Matthew Pahl?
That's what I was told, yes.
Okay. What happens next?
Approximately 17 minutes later, there's an outgoing call on Ms. Pavlons' phone where somebody is checking the voicemail.
Okay. And again, these calls are occurring at or near 1001 Delafield Street?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Next slide, please. And we need to have the audio, make sure we have the audio turned on. And okay. So what do you see in Ms. Pavlons' phone then on August 26th at 5:30 p.m.?
So it wasn't that clear in the data, but I was able to determine that we recovered a voicemail linked to that call, that incoming call from Layla that was routed to voicemail. We recovered that voicemail from her cell phone, from Ms. Pavlons' cell phone.
Okay. Can we play that voicemail, please?
Well, I figured I'd tell you I'm in the hospital and I broke my leg. So, I guess you never answer your phone. So, I hope you call me back. So, yeah. I'm in a lot of pain. So, bye.
Okay, so that is the voicemail that Layla left at 5:30 p.m., right?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Pahl someone from Ms. Pavlons' device checked the voicemail at 5:47 p.m.?
Yes, ma'am.
And then what does Mr. Pahl say at approximately 5:59 p.m.?
At 5:59 p.m., this is Skype conversation. Matthew Pahl's account messages Desierto's account on Skype, and in part it reads, "My niece called, left message. She's in hospital and broke her leg. My God, what next?"
Based on that message, would it appear that Mr. Pahl had listened to or heard the voicemail?
Yes, just because in my analysis of the records, which is right below that, I don't see any contact between Layla's phone number and Mr. Pahl's phone number.
Okay, so you went back and checked to see if Mr. Pahl had had any contact with Layla before forming that conclusion?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and they had not spoken why is June 1st your starting date there?
That's about, I think, May 31st is the earliest record we have. So that was from the beginning of the records we have to this date. I did not see any contacts between Layla's phone number and Mr. Pahl's phone number.
Okay.
Layla is their daughter. I guess she's just telling his girlfriends at their knees.
Continuing on August 26th.
Maybe his girlfriends don't know that's his daughter.
There's Skype messaging between Matthew
has a
Pahl's
daughter.
account and Desierto's Skype account. At 6:05, Pahl says, in part, "Remember, I told you I have a bad feeling." At 7:38 p.m., Desierto asks, "You're okay, hun?" And at 7:39 p.m., that should not be Desierto, that should be Matthew Pahl, says, "Not really," with an emoji.
Okay. Then what happens later that evening?
At approximately 8:33 p.m., there's an outgoing call from Matthew Pahl's cell phone to a phone number of 262-677-0. Phone call lasts approximately 7 minutes and 50 seconds, and that phone number was identified to me as Marvin Pahl's phone number, Matthew's father.
Okay. Based on that, did I ask you, and did law enforcement, Detective Plennis and Detective Fredericks, ask you to do an analysis of when Mr. Marvin Pahl made any phone contact with Mr. Matthew Pahl.
Yes.
Okay, we can go to the next slide, please. Is this, I have this slide and one more slide, Judge, for August 26th.
Okay.
And then I was prepared to stop.
I'm glad you were prepared.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
What are we looking at here, Detective?
So this is portions of the call detail records from Matthew Pahl's phone number. And I built this based on incoming or outgoing calls between Matthew Pahl's phone number and Marvin Pahl's phone number ending in 0469. And what I noted is there's just over a 2-month gap. So there's a call on June 21st, 2022. And then there's just over 2 months. The next call is that call that we just talked about on August 26th, 2022. I did not observe any contact between their phone numbers between June 21st and August 26th, 2022.
Okay, and the following records between August 26th and 9/17, those are all later listed in our timeline analysis?
Correct.
All right, our last and final slide, Detective. This is the last slide from August 26th. Tell us what else you observed about activity on August 26th.
So shortly after the phone call that we just talked about, there's some police scanner app usage. Specifically, the application is brought into focus, which would mean it's the main application on the screen the user's seen. It's brought into focus at 8:47 p.m. approximately, and it's closed at approximately 8:52 p.m. It's again reopened and brought to focus at 8:55 p.m. and it's closed at approximately 9:09 p.m.
Okay, and what else happens that evening?
At approximately 9:23 p.m., Matthew Pahl's Skype account messages Desierto's Skype account, and it reads, "I really don't know. My mind is going in circles, but I did call my dad. He's kind of worried too."
Okay, thank you, Judge. That completes August 26th.
Okay, and we're at page 56 on this. All right, let's finish up for the day, folks, okay? I'm going to excuse the jurors now. Anything before I excuse you from the state?
No, Judge.
Defense?
No, sir.
Okay, folks, same admonition. We got a long weekend ahead of you. Don't look up anything. Don't try to Google anything about what's happening here. Don't look at any media accounts and so on. Be safe trick-or-treating if you're going to do that. And I hope everybody enjoys their weekend. Let's do the same thing back and ready to go at 8:30 Monday morning, okay? And I did talk to the lawyers, and I think I told you the state thinks it's going to finish up their case on Monday. We'll see what happens after that, all right? Follow Mike's directions, please, and thank you very much for your time this week, everyone. Oh, I'm sorry, one other thing. Those candy, take them. It's like trick or treat. Those are not from the county. Those are from Mackenzie and Deidre, okay? And the donuts were from me today. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. You can step out.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I want to thank everybody for their hard work this week as well. You can sit down, everyone, please. Anything before we break from the state?
Sorry, Judge. What did you say?
Anything before we break today?
No, thank you.
Anything from the defense?
No, sir, thank you.
All right, everybody have a good weekend.
Happy Halloween.
Weekend.
Yeah, I heard him say niece too, and I think that's because he probably didn't tell his girlfriend that he had a kid. But what difference does it make when you're 44 and you have a 20-year-old kid? I don't know. He's guilty of a lot. I don't still know if he's guilty. I mean, how do you know when they're that they've been out there that long. I don't know. I just know that he treated her like crap and she let him. It's awful. And then their poor daughter. I just hope if she has a family, she does a better job than they did with her. Yay, 85 miles and Marty will be home. Don't text and drive. Be careful. Okay, guys, I'm in pain, so I'm going to go. My foot is swollen. I think it's because of my knee. I'm trying to get my doctor to call me back. How do you know she loves you? Okay, I'm going to go. I have a road trip tomorrow that I don't want to go on. Travis has found an RC track he wants to check out. It's 4 hours away. I don't even know when we get there if it races the kind of cars he has, but he still wants to drive 4 hours to check it out, which means that's 4 hours back. So that's 8 hours I'm going to be in the car tomorrow. And then Sunday I get to go to Magic Kingdom. So I will be on 2 different Disney streams. Why is a fake Wolverine and Deadpool? Oh my God. Because it's Halloween, that's why. Sunday, I will be on Magic Adventures, MAJIC Adventures at the Magic Kingdom. And then Sunday evening, I will be on Scooter Adventures, SKOOTAH Adventures at Epcot. And he will be streaming the Boyz II Men concert from there, which I'm going to see. I am so excited. I did a post about it with links to Magic Adventures. There's not a link to Scooter Adventures because he does not have the stream up already, but Magic Adventures does. So if you guys can't get enough of me or just want to see a Disney adult in their natural habitat, yeah. Why do you hate me, Marty? Why? I don't understand. You're here every time I stream, but you hate me. You hate me, but you're always here. You just love to be a thorn in my side. I love you, though. Okay, guys. Happy Halloween. Please have fun, but be responsible. And enjoy all the candy and the kitties and the fun and the whatever, because I don't get that because I live out in the middle of nowhere. And remember, be kind to people, love your family, and Jesus loves you, and so do I. Bye, guys. I will see you Monday morning. I'm debating if it's going to be bright and early, though. It depends on how I feel after on my very, very busy weekend. So I will see you Monday morning, though. Bye, guys. I love y'all. Even you, Marty.